Hi, Pisces. Alright, let me write you down. I just did Aries. So, Pisces, hi. I can't believe how many Pisces moons are in this circle. Hi. Hi. Oh, I was crying. I don't know if my makeup ran. Of course, every time I try to wear a little bit of makeup, I always end up with a cry. What are you going through right now? What are you releasing about? Before we jump into your reading, I will make a Pisces moon reading in relation to what we talked about, because I asked the question, so I will give the information. But right now I've had a lot on my plate, internally, externally, and there's just certain things that I can't push or change. I feel like this is a message for you too. I recorded a reading yesterday afternoon, and it showed exactly that. Now, there are things though that you have the opportunity, the ability, and I see the know-how to be able to adjust a few things, even within the situations that you cannot change. It may just be yourself in them. It could be something a little more technical, but you'll have to initiate it. Now, one main thing that you have 100% control over, and I feel like this would be very empowering right now to be conscious of and to give attention to. But it also is going to create a place of security. And what you can do to create that is to look at your routine. Your morning routine, your evening routine, particularly. I sense going to bed at right around the same time every night, waking up at the same time every morning, helpful. Now, as your Pisces, I would presume that you probably need at least one day a week where you don't wake up to an alarm. Maybe you still have an internal clock, but you allow yourself, I don't have to pop up out of here and run out of here and start doing something. Let me see if my body needs a little bit more rest. I sense at least once a week needed, right? Pisces represents sleep. Now, routine is also caring about oneself. You want to love yourself just a little bit more. Okay? I know there's parts of yourself you don't like. I don't know anybody who doesn't. But for you, because it's easy to love others, right? It's harder to love the self through your lens. You know what I mean? Pisces. Okay. The seasons are changing, so I'd also assume your diet will be something that will be shifting too. Maybe you're looking at, I don't know, different colors of things. Okay. Aries just talked about that. Ooh, nice one. What is this? Look how pretty that is. Okay, this says look at the sky. Okay. Look, let's do it. Can I show you no. Okay, it says look at the sky outside your window. Look for all the variations of color and light you can see. Okay. Maybe there are clouds and they are moving. Maybe the light in the sky is changing. Maybe some things are starting to appear. Look, watch the change, and breathe. You are right here. You know, it's interesting. Libra received the cloud in this deck particularly. It's like a blue sky with one little white fluffy cumulus cloud, like a really sweet one, you know. The ones that turn into bunnies, or it's easy to imagine. So you and them have been connected. You're connected in this time frame. Okay. Actually, all the Venus had clouds. Libra had a white cloud. Taurus had a black cloud. And you... Oh, that's interesting. Can we talk this out for a second? I'm sure some of you have something in Taurus. It's like... Taurus's black cloud. Libra was just outside, and it's like, wow, cloud. Outside the house, looking up at the sky, cloud. Taurus was outside, saw a black cloud, and the suggestion was to come inside because that was the safe place to be. Until those black clouds pass, right? And then there's blue sky again. You now are looking out at the sky from the inside. Just want to make sure we're still recording. Well, that's interesting. So Libra's the one that tells Taurus, like, hey, go inside. This is a white cloud. That's a black cloud. Go inside. Taurus is like, okay, goes inside, then has to sit, wait out the storm. I feel like this is that Uranus and Taurus too, and then it goes into Pisces, which Saturn is with you. So you just sit in there and then you observe internally. You're handling this. I feel like someone's handling this well. Okay, let's actually see in the shadow. No, let's okay. What does this card have to say? Uncertainty. Is it safe to go outside now? Right, this is all Venus. Venus rules Taurus and Libra. It's exalted in you. It's all Venus is connected to the cloud. So I feel like this is a person, again, inside, looking outside at the sky, and it's like, well, it's kind of cloudy. I don't know if I should go out yet. So maybe there's like this internal energy. Again, it's like, well, is the wind going to pick up again? Let's see what's happening in the shadow. Orpheus. I don't know what that means. Is that the dude in the Matrix? Orpheus. Oops. Alright. This shadow card means suffering and loneliness, Pisces. You're not meant to be alone in this time. I know sometimes it's hard to trust people. Aries was just talking about this, like, who do we trust? It doesn't have to be people we talk to all the time, but knowing who that is really important. It says, in a reading, Orpheus heralds the revolution of a truth. or as well as it can represent a moment of beauty. However, in order to reveal what is hidden, the querent must walk the untrodden path and open up to new possibilities, new experiences, and new ways of thinking. The key here is that in order to hear one's own heart song and to sing one's own unique and alluring truth, it is necessary to hold fast to one's principles despite the suffering and loneliness that might accompany this. Sacrifices may need to be made, and mistakes may be suffered, but the rewards will be worth it. I feel like this is so suiting to Saturn and Pisces too, especially, let's read that again. The key message here is that in order to hear one's own heart song, it is necessary to hold fast to one's principles despite the suffering and loneliness that might entail. Because the light of this shadow card, Pisces, is about genius, which to me is a helpful, benevolent spirit that is always around you, helping you, guiding you, right by your side, or in very close proximity. This also represents poetic and artistic expression, so right now it may be a beautiful time to write, to do photography, take a picture of that cloud, take Libra's advice and just go lay outside, even if you got to be in your snowsuit. I don't know, I hope it doesn't snow anymore. I need some sunlight. It's like, look at the clouds. Because it also represents sublime inspiration, revelation, and this heart song space, which seemingly also comes from a place of being unashamedly yourself. I guess even at times, if that is the part of you is suffering or lonely, that's okay. That's a beautiful place sometimes, again, of poetic or artistic expression. Think about how many songs have been written because the heart was hurting. Poems that still draw people's emotions in people even hundreds and hundreds and thousands of years later. I'm hearing like Gregorian chants and things. You know what I mean? So if you're uncertain whether you are supposed to speak your truth, oh, it's about saying it to yourself. It's not about saying it to someone else necessarily. The inner, because again, the suffering and loneliness doesn't really have to do with other people. That's within ourselves, right? And again, hold fast to your principles, despite the suffering and loneliness that might accompany that. Right? I'm being reminded when I finally figured out, like, more of who I was and stopped pretending to be everything that everybody else wanted. It's like I finally learned how to speak my own language instead of being so diversely lingual. After that, there was multiple handfuls of people that just 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 floated away. Just wasn't. It was like cut. Oh, gone. I mean, no hard feelings, but it's just like gone because I changed, because I finally settled in and of myself what I believe in. Again, I didn't even tell any of them. It was just like it happened in me, and then all these other things started happening. Does this make sense? So don't be uncertain if you, so you probably may feel like you're separated or you have less than, but you're supposed to in certain ways. Because again, it's not like you can't be friends or have people in your life that think or believe differently than you in more complex ways. But the foundation of things, again, the principles is what's important here. And I guess in that sense you can speak on that. But again, it's not meant to try to convince anyone else. It's just don't be afraid to. Okay. Let's see, Pisces. The Hermit. Virgo had a very powerful reading. They had the veil. It was like it was mental energy like this, but a little bit stronger. So 1970 or 7 years ago, I guess that's Uranus too. So you could go back to, what is that, 2018? A lot has happened since then. Until this Saturn transit moves, which most of you, I need you to know through Pisces, most of you follow tropical, so this has already happened for you the last 2 years of difficulty. Now it's more of, again, standing upon that. Again, those principles are that foundation, and just like, it's kind of like walking the talk, Saturn and Pisces. I know you can do that. Because it's about what we do and not by what we say, right? Imagine if we were mute. It's about how we show up. And we can still be honest, right? And communicate. So who can you easily communicate with that it's not a problem? Like when they speak, you just understand them. When you're connecting with them, you're like, you understand me. And it's no like weirdness. And especially the parts, because Hermit is lonely. Because I suppose there's an undercurrent here is like, do I deserve love? Do I deserve, I heard anything? I don't know. Do you? What do you think? What's the light in the Hermit, Zumi? Direction. It is not the lantern, but the light within the lantern, Pisces. This is the Ace of Cups. Some of you, this is the energy of like, I really feel like Aries reading will be helpful. Didn't this happen a long time ago when we had that father reading? Do you remember that? Whoa. Because again, it's like, I'm uncertain if I can trust people. Again, if that's a question, please go to Aries. They'll give you the answer very plainly. It's like very confident, quick, to the point. It's easy. Maybe that's also easy for you in this time to figure this out, but I still think your mind gives you kind of a hard time. I guess, what does your mind give you a hard time about? And particularly, what does your mind give you a hard time about, specifically in relation to, do I deserve love? That heart song, Ace of Cups. Maybe the birds will give you a message. Oh, that's a good indication, Pisces. If you're uncertain, you're inside looking out. And you see black clouds, yes, stay put. Snuggle up, get comfy. If you see white clouds and they're moving really fast, okay, you can pay attention like this. One way to know whether the storm is over is that you'll hear the birds sing again. The birds will sing again. And if for some reason, wherever you are, the birds are singing and everything's nice, and you look up and you don't see any white clouds or black clouds, there isn't any indication that way, but all of a sudden the bird song, this heart song, you can't hear it, all of a sudden it gets real quiet, that means that a storm's coming. And you should go inside and get comfy and know that you're safe there. You have this sanctuary to go to. And then you wait out the song and you hear again. But sometimes you may see the clouds, but you can't hear the birds because you've been inside too long or the windows are shut. You got to open up certain places to be able to hear. Because they're not always going to show you exactly that. You have to use different senses. And that may also be how you can determine whether you can trust people. Also, different senses. If you're uncertain, if someone says something to you and you're like, I just caught them in a lie, even if it was little, it would be like, I don't think the Orpheus is suggesting to call them out on that. It's just to take note of it so that you understand who and what you should share your most intimate self with. Because more love wants to be, like, it's like, it's trying. It reminds me of that Saturn reading we did, the end of suffering. And it talked about when Saturn goes into Pisces for all of us, regardless of our stars, like collectively, he's going to give us what our heart, which is that unconsciously, what our heart truly wants and needs. But I guess we could still pick things along the way that aren't suiting to the direction of love, especially if one doesn't quite love themselves. Even if it's there, we can't then accept it. Does this make sense? So it like wants you to trust yourself and knowing, and maybe some of you just need to go off by yourself alone when you can't trust things. You know what I mean? Like fast a little bit. Separate yourself from things, physical things, in whatever way you want to. I even see kind of different ways, like being away from people, being away from work, being away from maybe, I don't know, town. It's like you can add in a handful of, I'm going to separate myself from these things, and then go sit, and I heard, try to find the bird song. Try to hear your heart song. Which reminds me of that old Taurus reading. There is now a song, maybe that'll help. Taurus, a song sung. There is now a song being sung in a space that was once silent. And I know it's a little embarrassing because you're different now than you were. Right? And we are all very much checking in whether how we've been defining ourselves, especially over the last 7 years, because that's been changing a lot. And it's just, we don't have to be fixed in ultimately who we are, but we at least want to know what that is and if there's anything we want to adjust or fix. And again, how we're supposed to fix it is with Venus and with love, not necessarily a mentality. Because sometimes the mind can totally lie, right? And be like, you're a piece of shit. I can't trust this person even though they love you and it's totally fine. You know what I mean? And so it's like the heart and the crown chakra, or whatever's one, two, is it two or three above the head? I feel like it's two above. I can actually feel that right now. That's interesting. So just be honest with yourself and be honest with others. If you're having a hard time with honesty, please watch Taurus. They'll give you the indication. If you're trying to figure out who and what and ways of trust, please go to Aries. Those are free extended readings if you want another layer. I guess it would be for April 2025 if you're finding this at a different point in time. Those of you who also like figure out the truth, you figure out the lie, you figure out what's going on. I see someone apparently does that. Remember the lesson of Scorpio. We don't have to keep replaying the fact that someone lied or that was untrue or you got tricked, or it's the negative thing that you figure out that was hanging you up because you didn't know about it, because you were ignorant to it at some point. Now you're aware of it. You have knowledge about it. It doesn't, and I see because of that now that experience was there to give you the knowledge so that you can apply that now in the future, now and in the future, in relation to like what's a wise choice and not coming at it out of fear. Okay, I'm going to say that's that. I hope this was helpful. Thank you for being in this life, Pisces. You know, because of you here, you helped change my perspective and shift some of my judgments and fears. I really appreciate that. You know, these conversations, I find these whatever this is very, I find it very enlightening, and it wouldn't happen without you. You know, I guess because of us, because we're all connecting like this. You and I are connecting, and that's, you know, I thank you for that trust. I'll talk to you next time. Peace out.